Cozy gaming has been an important part of my life for as long as I can remember. Gaming is my self-care. Only then I had no idea it would be widely known as cozy games and have this effect or impact on the video games world today. Only recently have we been trying to capture and define it more as we see other amazing creators talk about it, and also gaming devs and publishers call all of their games cozy. So what exactly is it and what makes it so popular these days? Hello friends, I'm Kat. Welcome back or welcome to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining. So happy you can make it. I do make a lot of videos about casual, cozy, relaxing games, mostly about the Switch and also on PC, so please feel free to hang around. I think the questions, what is cozy gaming versus what makes a game cozy, are two very different questions that I will try to answer in this video. But at the end of the day, I think that it is up to our own interpretation. What's cozy to me may not be to you, and that's totally okay. But again, this is what it means to me. In my very first cozy gaming video over 2 years ago, it's so crazy to think it's been that long, but I actually had no idea what it is. I'd come across the word in a small Instagram community talking about similar games that I was into, games that I played when I want to relax and unwind and de-stress and just lose myself in a world of gaming. But I think the most important part was that these were games that we would play when we want to feel relaxed and comforted. In that video, I also talked about how gaming is my me time, my self-care, my relaxation, my unwinding whenever I get off a stressful day from work or any other things that I want to escape, essentially. And that meaning to this day is something that I still feel is very true, at least for me. I think it captures the essence of cozy gaming and why I love the whole idea of it. I think cozy gaming is a feeling or a state when you are playing video games rather than an actual genre like simulation, role-playing games, puzzles, strategy, and so on. The best part about it as well is the inclusivity and the community. It provides this safe space for many gamers, new and old, that is very welcoming and kind and supportive and warm. And unlike other gaming communities before, where it feels a little bit more opposite of that, let's just say. I really hope it continues to stay that way and leave the whole negativity and toxicity outside this space. For a long time, there has been other spaces in the gaming world where others may want to define what makes a real gamer or what are real video games, and unfortunately it still happens to this day. But what I appreciate and love about the cozy gaming community is that I think everyone who's a part of it really just wants to maintain this wholesome and kind and giving and supportive environment. We just want to play our games and get excited about it together, okay? These days there are so many cozy games that are being released, and also of course the backlog of games that we haven't played. There's a game for everyone on every single platform, but my platform of choice is the Nintendo Switch. I grew up on the Nintendo line of handhelds, and as I mentioned earlier, I've been cozy gaming before even knowing what it is. Like, we're talking Game Boy days, playing Harvest Moon, now known as Story of Seasons, but that was it for me. There's just something about gaming on a handheld versus a PC monitor or a larger TV that feels more personal and intimate to me. Gaming is my me time, my self-care, and this has allowed me to immerse myself into another world in the palm of my hands, anytime, anywhere. There was something just really magical about that as a kid, you know, and that feeling is something that has stayed with me to this day, and why I prefer handheld gaming over any other platform. If you're just getting into gaming or getting back into it and you're trying to buy your first Nintendo Switch, maybe you want a dedicated handheld experience like the Game Boy or DS and 3DS, then the Nintendo Switch Lite is for you. But if you want the best of both worlds and have that handheld gaming experience, but also be able to plug it into your TV or your PC, then of course I would go ahead and get the Nintendo Switch OLED. There is the V2 Switch. In a nutshell, if you're going to play exclusively on your PC or TV, then I would recommend the V2 Switch to save a couple of bucks. But if you do want the best of both worlds, like I said, and you want to experience a really good handheld gaming session as well, the Nintendo Switch OLED I think is really worth it, with the larger screen, and it's just more vibrant and beautiful, and the speakers are a bit better as well as the battery life, I believe. But I'll be making an updated buying guide for the Nintendo Switch soon, so if you want to hear about these in more detail, then please keep an eye out for that. I think a huge part of cozy gaming, besides the actual gaming part, is also creating an equally cozy space to get in that really comfy zone. And that includes surrounding myself with things that do bring me that zen and relaxation, like lighting a candle, opening the windows and letting some sun in, at least as much sun as I can get in our city, drinking my favorite cup of coffee, having my doggos around, and of course wrapping myself up in a cozy blanket or two. Bed gaming is probably the best thing about playing on handhelds like the Nintendo Switch and the Steam Deck, and some days it is really hard to leave it, especially when it's fitted with the comfiest sheets, which is why I'm happy to share our sponsor in this video, Brooklinen. These are the times that seriously make me realize so much that I'm an adult now when I get excited about home goods, but with good reason. Brooklinen sheets are seriously so luxe and feels like you're staying in the best hotel bed, only way better because you're in the comfort of your own home. You know, I always love to talk about treating yourself, and these are definitely a form of my self-care, and it can be yours too. I chose the Luxe duvet cover and pillow set in the color ginger, but you can mix and match from over 20 colors and patterns to fit your aesthetic, and bundling different items or different colors can even save you more than when you're buying them all separately. Right now through May 31st, Brooklinen is having their memorial sale for 20% off all their items online, so it's the perfect time to stock up on your favorites or find new ones. You can also check out my code below and continue to get the best deals even after the sale ends. Thank you to Brooklinen for sponsoring this portion of the video. On the other hand, what makes a game generally cozy is when it takes away any other feeling other than relaxing, comforting, and zen. It should ideally de-stress instead of adding it, and also lets us escape into a world that is peaceful and calming. This is why the most popular cozy games include titles like Animal Crossing New Horizons, Stardew Valley, Story of Seasons, Cozy Grove, and those sorts of similar games. There are games that don't have that sense of pressure to adhere to playing a certain way, and also there's no time limits, there's no super challenging battles, there's no competition. Often there's also a creative aspect to it, whether it's for customizing your own character, customizing your home, building a home, crafting little items and other projects and goodies, making your farm or your town or island look pretty. They offer this slice of life that feels much more simple and relaxed again compared to maybe our day-to-day, not to mention mostly really kind and wholesome townspeople, and sometimes they're in the form of animals, so what's not to love? I think it's about breaking down simple activities and being able to do them in repetition and creating a very basic and straightforward gameplay that doesn't necessarily require us to think too hard and try too hard, if that makes sense. It's a very simple gameplay that yields very satisfying results, in my opinion. And again, there is that creative outlet as well. So why did cozy gaming become so popular so fast? I think it's something many of us have already been doing without realizing it, including myself, and we were just really waiting to be a part of this larger community and feel welcomed in a space where we can just really enjoy similar games and get excited about farming or crafting or fishing and gardening and all of those things. I think the topic of cozy gaming and cozy games also came at a time when we really needed it the most. And now maybe even newcomers realize that it is a wonderful way to de-stress after a long day at work or school. In the last few years, though I don't want to dwell too much on what had already happened, but we were stuck in this state of unknown, essentially. We were all at home. There were a lot of not so pleasant things that were happening in the world and also in our personal lives, I'm sure. And cozy games allowed us to escape to these other worlds, like I mentioned, are full of warmth and comfort. A little known game called Animal Crossing New Horizons. It allowed us to interact and visit family and friends when we couldn't IRL, and also meet others in this community. So it really allowed us to feel this sense of belonging and connection to people who want nothing but, kindness and all the wholesome feels. And I don't know about you guys, but when I grew up, there's been narrative after narrative about video games being very bad for us. And also, I think many realized after that experience that gaming can actually be a very positive thing. It does bring people together, and it can also really contribute to our mental health and general wellness overall. And as for which games to start with, I will link my playlist of all the coziest games that I recommend for the past couple of years for the Nintendo Switch, and some on Steam and mobile as well, many of which I've also done a gameplay preview of, so I will also link that other playlist. But I don't think you can go wrong with any of those choices. I never recommend a game that I didn't enjoy, and if the dozens and dozens of games that I recommended still aren't enough for you, there are so many incredible recommendations in the comment section of my videos that you guys leave. Feel free to drop it here as well if you have any new recommendations or even games that you'd like me and others to check out. And if you made it to the end, as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you again to Brooklinen for sponsoring a portion of this video, and I will see you next time.